Hi everyone. So today I want to go over the details of a really exciting new series that I'm going to do called Recipes for My Grandmother. So a couple of weeks ago, my mom gave me this old recipe book that itself has a lot of good recipes in, but most exciting for me, it has all these recipes written in the margins, written on scraps of newspaper from the time, the cover, all over the place. And most of them, I looked at most of the written down recipes, and most of them are missing details. So they may be missing the oven temperature or the duration of baking or cooking, or they might be, a lot of them are missing like the actual name of the recipe. Like if it were brownies, it wouldn't say brownies, it'd just be like flour, eggs, sugar, you know what I mean? They're missing a lot of details. So what I'm going to do in this series is I'm going to investigate these recipes and try to figure out what they are. And I'm very excited about them because even though the name of the series is called Recipes for My Grandmother, a lot of them may be even older than my grandmother. It could possibly be my grandmother's mother, my great grandmother, who I never met. So I'm really excited about this. I think I'm going to start, so I'll show you the book. It's a Good Housekeeping cookbook. And even, you can see it even has something written on the cover. But that's actually where I'm going to be starting. So it's in really rough shape. I'm going to try to be really careful with it, but we're going to start on the cover. The cover completely comes off. But look at all this stuff. So the first recipe, I think I'm gonna do, this one actually says brownies. It has a title. This one has a title too. I think you might be able to make out, it's like shortbread or something. But I'm gonna start with this one. It doesn't have, that I can see, any oven directions. It doesn't have an oven temperature or a duration of cooking. So I'm gonna try to decipher the ingredients next. Let's do it. All right, so on the cover, you can see that this was given to my grandmother or some relation to my grandmother in 1935, April of 1935. So it's, you know, a little bit more than a decade short of being 100 years old. So I think it says shortcake or muffins. I'll try to. Shortcake or muffins. I'm pretty sure that's what it says. So I'm just gonna call it shortcake. So the first thing I see is butter. I see 1 tablespoon, which is, for a recipe, a tiny amount of butter. Sugar. Two tablespoons. Okay. If you see anything that you think I did wrong, let me know. So the next ingredient is like, the light really helps. This is a tough one. Okay, so it's, I think it says baking powder, and then 3, what is this? So level, okay, level teaspoons. Milk, 1 cup. 1 egg. This is backwards to how I would usually do things, but I'm trying to keep it consistent. So flour, 2 cups. All right, so a pretty small amount of ingredients, but, and like I said, this, I don't see any, like this one doesn't have it either. So that's what we're gonna try to figure out. Let's get into it. All right, everyone. So I've assembled all the ingredients here. I will say right off the bat, I'm a little skeptical about mostly this. So this is the 2 tablespoons of sugar that the recipe calls for. Shortcake, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe I'm thinking of shortbread, but I'm thinking of like a sweet kind of baked good. But let's see. I mean, when you think about it, oh, this is the 2 cups of flour, by the way. I used all-purpose flour. But when you think about it, 100 years ago, or at least almost 100 years ago, people's palates were probably a little bit different. I mean, in today's day and age, we do, I think, consume a lot more sugar than people used to. But we'll see. So that was the 2 tablespoons of sugar that we were talking about. This is, actually, let's do all the dry first. So this is the baking powder. It calls for 3 level teaspoons of this. Okay, the other weird thing is there's no salt. That's unusual. All right. So let me just give that a little mix to combine it. I'm just assuming, right? Because I don't have any other instructions whatsoever. But I know typically for baking, you want to mix the ingredients together before you add the wet ingredients. I'm very curious. I'm thinking it might be, I'm thinking it's going to be like maybe a little bland. That's my concern, but who knows? We shall see. All right. So at this point, I think we can add our wet ingredients, which are 1 cup of milk. It didn't specify, but I assume they want whole milk. 1 egg. And 1 tablespoon of butter. This is room temperature butter. Again, just guessing. And let's give that a mix now. It said shortcake or muffins. I think I'm gonna do the shortcake rather than try a muffin. Okay, it's actually coming together pretty well. It's a dry batter. It's also a pretty small amount by today's comparison, or by today's standards rather. Get that out of the way before I break something. Oh boy. What am I going to make this in? This is more like a bread dough than it is a cake batter. My spidey senses are tingling, you guys. I don't know. I'm very, very curious about this. All right, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna bake this in, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So this is what I came up with. I put it into a 1 pound Nordic ware loaf pan. And I did that because it does have baking powder in it. So I think it's gonna rise. That's my speculation. And we shall see. It with the ingredients, it's more like a kind of traditional bread dough than what I would think of when I think of a shortcake. When I think of a shortcake, I think of kind of a dessert. But I might be wrong. So I'm gonna put this into a 350-degree oven. That's 100% a guess. I have no idea if that's the right temperature or not, but we're gonna try it. And I'm gonna give it about 30 minutes. I'll check on it frequently and see. I'm gonna look for just like a golden brown color. But yeah, let's try it and see. And here we are, 30 minutes later. It's got a nice golden brown color to it. It did rise. I let it cool down for about 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and cut into it. It does smell like shortcake. It has a slight sweetness to it. And I think it came out okay. I'm gonna taste it. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty bready. There is a slight sweetness. It's not bad. This is something that you would put jelly or jam, butter. This is like a tea dish. It's good. I'm gonna put some fig jam and butter on this. I'll be right back. All right, let's try it. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's like a sweetbread. It's like a sweetbread without any fruit or... I'd say this would be a good base for a sweetbread. It's not bad.
yeah. So I'd call that a success. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. It'll let me know that you enjoy it and I should do more. But thank you so much, and especially thank you to all my subscribers. Thanks for sticking around. I am a new channel, so I know sometimes I can be a little cringy, but thanks so much, guys. See you next time.